I love this question. I get it so often.
Will you repeat it?
Essentially, I got a mercury-containing filling in my mouth. I'm aware that mercury is a heavy metal that has toxic, poisonous properties, and should I look at getting it replaced with something different? The way I always approach that is once the mercury is in an amalgamated state, for the most part, you are completely safe. And in your mouth now, it is in an amalgamated state. If you're worried about mercury poisoning from it, the vast majority of the mercury that is released as a vapor occurs when the filling is removed. So if mercury is your number one concern, you might not want to even have it removed. And if you want to have it removed under the safest conditions possible, you're going to be a rubber dam. There's going to be a high vacuum suction there. It's going to be done under conditions that you will probably find rather deplorable at the time. Moreover, when we look at replacing these restorations, the number one restoration, it'd be nice if we could place it with something that was truly kind of biologically inert like gold, but who can afford gold? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a composite typically back in it, the white tooth-colored filling. What they don't tell you that it has its own toxic profile as well. Composites have bisphenol A, which breaks down to a phthalate, which, as we know, now has these amazing number of toxic properties that seem to affect every organ in the body practically. That's the one they're always complaining about because it's getting in our water system, and all of our frogs now are hermaphrodites. So again, yeah, you can replace it with other materials, but those other materials also have their own toxic profiles. We have very few totally safe dental materials. We're moving into more of the zirconium and the ceramics, which tend to be very, very biologically acceptable. Gold has always been a bearer of good things. But again, you got to be very careful when you begin to replace one dental material with another dental material, unless you look real, real closely. Am I really doing the safest thing for myself?
Thanks. And there was, sir, did you have a question over here? Yes.
One other thing I want to add. The United Nations, the ADA and the United Nations just came to a consensus where they believe the use of mercury in amalgam is a safe practice worldwide as long as it's handled safely and accordingly.